Thank you, Dr. Pupinik, for being our host. Thank you for helping us to bring this issue before the international community, before the institutions of Europe. And I must say that your credentials and your knowledge about the issue and about the case law of the European Court of Human Rights are of most importance to solving this matter in the highest institutions of Europe. But we can't wait the European Court of Human Rights to decide on this matter. And this is why we must address to all the European institutions, all the panels, to help us here in Europe and abroad to know just what is the text, what is the letters in this law. You all have it in English, but what is the values of this law? As you have heard from our moderator, I'm representing member of a Parliamentary Assembly of Council of Europe, Mr. KNEŽEVIĆ, who was arrested at the night of the adoption of law and deprived of his passport, although he is seeking his passport from the state authorities to give them back his passport so he could come to this event. But the courts in Montenegro don't want allow him to come in this panel, in this European institution, and tell you the story about the values of this law. And what are the values of this law? First value, anti-Christianity. How do we know this? You can find it online. This is a political program of the ruling party. And in this program, that was brought in 30th of November, 1 month before adoption of the law, on the page, I think 8, you can find that the aim of the political party is renewal of the Montenegrin Orthodox Church. And now we have two problems. How on earth any party can create a church? Especially, don't mind me, if some of you are socialist, especially the Socialist Party. So, the political party wants to create its own state-controlled church. And who would be the head of this church? The head of this church would be the man that was expelled from the Orthodoxy by the decree of the Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew 23 years ago. This is original document of the session of the Holy Synod of the Constantinople Synod and Patriarch, that Miroje JOVANOVIĆ, this new so-called bishop of the regime's church, is expelled. He is not a Christian anymore. So, this law provides a value that the party is about to have its own state-controlled church, and in this Christian church, the main and the key partner will be the excommunicated priest, Miroje JOVANOVIĆ. Everybody on the first year of the law school, if they read this law, they can see it's not acceptable considering European Convention on Human Rights. I want to be as clear and as short as it possible. For example, Article 62. Listen carefully. Religious buildings and land, etc., etc., shall constitute property as cultural heritage of Montenegro. have you ever heard that the land can be cultural heritage? Land. And it will be a state property. So it was the issue that was discussed by MP Mr. Law Miroje, that the second value of this law, of this short law, is corruption. If the state aim to have the land as a cultural heritage belong to the state, then you all must know and be aware what this means, considering high corruption index in Montenegro. That means that by this law, some bureaucrats shall decide what to do with something that was belonging to all the Orthodox Christians, because we know the church are the clerics and the people, lai. Am I right? Without people to say Amen, there is no church. I represent the people. Also, I'm a lawyer and a Serbian Orthodox. Second, how do we know this is you see this is a law on freedom of religion or beliefs and legal status of religious communities? What is interesting in this law, and you can count, I have counted, that, for example, the word state is mentioned 30 times. 30 times. The word state is in 30 times mentioned in this law. But the word freedom is mentioned only 19 times. Wait a second. Is this a law on freedom or law on the state-controlled church? And the word church is mentioned only once in this Quasimodo law. You all must know this about this law. One of the values that this law is providing to us, that all the churches and religious communities must be re-registered again. And somebody who wrote this, and I must stress this out, the law doesn't comply to the opinion of the Venice Commission at all, by the opinion of the special reporter on religious rights by the United Nations. Am I right? The church is obliged to re-register, although the churches already have its legal personality. And it is denounced by the highest bodies of the United Nations and both by the Venice Commission. Wait, if I have my legal personality and my property and my faithful people, why do you ask of me to be re-registered? And we have the problem that is mentioned in the Article 21. It is on the minister to decide which church can have word orthodoxy in its name. Because, and this minister is Mr. Zdenka, as I recollect, and I'm sorry that he is not here to defend his law. Zenka or Zdenka? I'm sorry to Mr. Zenka. It was be his call in this process of re-registration to say who will have the title of the Orthodox Church in Montenegro. And I must stress out that Mr. Zenka, during the preparation of this law, stressed out some, on January the 19th, listen to this. This is the law of the freedom of the religious rights, really, but he stated out, January the 6th. A decision in this process of making so state can have the property returned to it which belonged to the state until 1 1920. Wait a second. We already have a state property law in Montenegro. We already have a property that is considering ownership. So basically Mr. Zenka, in his statement of 6th of January, 1 year ago, already said what's the main purpose of this. It's confiscation and nationalization and proclamation of the man that was brought to anathema, the man that is not Christian, and you know what else is very important? The president of Montenegro, Milo Đukanović, he's not baptized. So we have the president of the party, who is not Orthodox Christian. A program of his socialist party has creating the Christian Orthodox Church. Those are some of the values, and you must know that this protest taking part right now in Montenegro, I will like to send our strong support to it's, let's say, thousands of people, tens of thousands of people in a small country, small by size, but not small by spirit, by Orthodox spirit right now and Christian spirit right now, because people are defending their sacred places in a peaceful protest walks every week. Right now, we have a situation that during one of the protests, one of the bishops, Episcop Methodius, Bishop Methodie, was beaten by police. We also have a problem that the police make a seizure of a house of one of the priests. So basically, as I stressed out before, when you have the word state in almost second article of the law, when you have the president, which is not Orthodox Christian, trying to create a Christian, Orthodox Christian church on the political congress with the ex-priest, then it's all clear that what our moderator stressed out, this is the precedent in Europe. And please, there is one very strong issue that nobody is entitled to make comments on this law, because it's internal issue of the Montenegro as a sovereign country, etc., etc. Okay, every country have, of course, their sovereignty and right to adopt law what they think they should be. But if you are a member of Council of Europe, if you belong to the family of the states that recognize the European Convention of Human Rights, your laws must be completely in the circle of the European conventions and the international law. Thank you.
So, thank you very much.